So, hi everyone, my name is Irene, and as many of you know, I've been working in the drinks industry for a long time. And I always find when I go to a bar with friends that they always ask me, oh, what should I get? Because they either get lost on the menu or they end up ordering the same thing all the time, or they ask the bartender, but the bartender just suggests like whatever is easier for him. So this is what my project is about. The idea was to lay the foundations for an app that targets both bar owners and consumers. It would help bar owners to build their drinks offer in terms of building something really personalized or being able to offer recommendations to customers based on different requirements or needs. And for the consumer, it would allow the person to decide like the cocktail they want to have depending on their requirements. So the process to get here was quite long. And first of all, to extract my database, I had to do web scraping. I'll go into more detail later. And then I had to do data cleaning, text pre-processing. Then I've been doing some data analysis based on the main consumer requirements or needs. And to finish, I've built a recommender with NLP based on the recipe ingredients. So for my database, I've used Difford's guide. Difford's guide is like the main reference in the drinks industry. They have several publications, and on the website you can find more than 5,000 recipes with ratings, with comments, with all sorts of information, with images. So for my project, I decided to select the top 1,000 rated cocktails. So these are cocktails that have from 4.5 to 5+ stars, which is the top ranking. And I extracted all these fields, so name, calories, alcohol percentage, rating, ingredients, the flavor scales, and the images. So this was probably the biggest challenge of my project because I had never done web scraping. And once I managed to do the web scraping and I got this, I realized that I had to do loads of data cleaning with it, because obviously the ingredients, I had to rewrite them completely. They had quantities, they had all sorts of brands in there I didn't need, or specifications, but also the scales, I needed to convert them into numerical variables, the alcohol percentage. I used lots of regex to clean this. So from this, I got here, which is the database I've used. So, okay, let's start. You are at the bar and the barman asks you, what can I get you? Probably, if you have no idea, you say, what do you recommend? So based on this guide, these are the top recommended cocktails according to experts. There are 40 cocktails out of 5,000 that have the 5+ stars. And in terms of number of votes, the best cocktail is Negroni. So if you don't know what to order and you want to look cool, ask for a Negroni or a last word cocktail. Next, ingredients. Ingredients are important. So if we analyze the ingredients in a cocktail, we see that there are some that are used in many cocktails. First one being vermouth. Second one is sugar syrup, lime juice, gin. So you could use these, for example, like if you are a gin lover, okay, I want a cocktail with gin. Which ones are the best ones? Then you go and say, okay, these are the cocktails that contain gin that have the highest rating. In our case, it's Negroni again. So what about time? Time is important in a cocktail bar, so both for the barman and the customer. So the average number of ingredients mean time. The number of ingredients in a cocktail means time normally. So average is 4.6. If you want something simple because you don't have the time or the bar is busy, there are plenty of cocktails with 2 ingredients. So Ferrobaldi is an example, a gin and tonic is an example. If you have plenty of time, you're relaxed, and you want something really complex, then there are cocktails with up to 10 ingredients, like a Mai Tai or a Bloody Mary. What about calories? So the average number of calories in a cocktail is 173.6, which is quite high compared to a glass of wine, which is 120. But the good news is that there are some cocktails with low calories, like you got cocktails with 12 calories, like Ferrobaldi, or if you don't worry about calories at all, oops, it's not working. Okay. Go for a dirty banana. That is like one of your meals of the day. What about alcohol? So average alcohol percentage in a cocktail is 21.1%, which is approx like a glass and a half of wine. Good news is, if you don't want to drink alcohol, in these top 1,000 cocktails, there are 2 without alcohol, and also 6 other cocktails that have 5% or less, which is the equivalent of a beer. But if you don't worry at all about alcohol, and tomorrow will be tomorrow, no one cares, you can go as high as 42.4 with Episcopal. So you might be wondering, is there a correlation between alcohol and calories? Because we always hear the more alcohol, the more calories, right? Well, the answer is no. And this is because if we look at the low alcohol cocktails, we can see really quickly that all the ingredients they use, or most of the ingredients they use, have a really high content in sugar or calories. So sugar syrup is the main one, vermouth, and then you got soda, and then sherry, cola, ginger ale, rum, made with sugar cane. So sugar, basically. You don't want alcohol, but you get sugar. And then lastly, flavor. Flavor is important. So I've represented both flavor scales from Difford's guide in this graph. So on the x-axis, you can see a scale that goes from gentle to boozy. And on the y-axis, you can see a scale that goes from sweet to dry or sour. This means that if you want something sweet and gentle, you could go for a cocktail that is on the left-hand side of the scale, so Belafonte. If you want something boozy, strong, and dry, you could go for a Vesper Dry Martini, which is a 10-10. But as you can see, most cocktails are around the middle. So there are plenty of options that are more balanced. So another way of finding a cocktail you like is by saying, okay, I love a Bloody Mary. What do you recommend? Or this is my favorite cocktail. Tell me, what can I get? Something different. So for this, I've built my NLP recommender. I've used the ingredients of the recipes, and I've used a KNN with cosine distance. So I'm going to show you some examples. So if you always order the same thing, like James Bond, vodka martini, okay, why don't you try something different that you're going to like? For example, elderflower martini number 2. In this case, you can see how the recommender works, like vodka martini, easy, vodka and vermouth. So the recommender, these are the top 3 results. The recommender suggests something with vodka, vermouth, and then a liqueur. So what I was interested as well in seeing was how these 2 cocktails are different in terms of calories, alcohol, and flavor. So not just with this result, but in general, what I saw is that, of course, like calories and alcohol are going to change because you're introducing or removing ingredients. But what's quite interesting is that flavor profile is not that different. But what I really think that would work for the app as a next step would be to use both things. So, okay, I like vodka martini, but tell me like something similar, but sweeter, or with less alcohol, or with less calories. So that way you could use a recommender with all these like requirements and needs to give you the final result. other examples. So White Russian is a cocktail really popular thanks to the Big Lebowski, the film. Vodka, coffee, liqueur, and single cream. So the recommender says that you should try Dominicana, which is made with rum, coffee, and single cream. And again, as you can see, the flavor profile in one case is 5.7, in the other one is 5.6. So Cosmopolitan, classic. In this case, because there are so many recipes of Cosmopolitan, the recommender gave like 2 different Cosmopolitan, and the number 3 is Christmas Cosmopolitan. So it's very similar recipes. In this case, I compare normal Cosmopolitan with Christmas Cosmopolitan to see a bit of a difference. But as you can see, they are really, really similar. Like in terms of alcohol, calories, and flavor profile are almost identical. Old Fashioned is a cocktail made with bourbon, rye whiskey, sugar, and bitters. So the recommender suggests like bourbon Old Fashioned. French 75 is a cocktail quite famous for Casablanca. So lemon juice, gin, champagne, and then the recommender suggests Millionaire's Martini, which is with gin, vermouth, and champagne. And last is probably the most famous cocktail nowadays because of this singer, Bad Bunny, had a song called Moscow Mule, and it went like really high on Google Trends. People wanted to know what was this cocktail about. So this cocktail is just vodka, lime juice, sugar syrup, and ginger beer. And the recommender suggests you should try a Dutch Mule, which is vodka, Genever, lime juice, Angostura bitters, and ginger beer. So what's next? For me, as I said, I think the ideal scenario would be to use all these, both the analysis and the KNN recommender, to be able to find the perfect cocktail. And ideally, I would like to build an app around it. And I don't know if you have any questions. And thank you.